And now we begin a deep dive into the chakras. In the Soul Artist 1.0 course, we learned a bit about the chakras. Some people, especially in the United States, pronounce this with a soft CH like chandelier, and some of my first teachers pronounced it that way, so I have a hard time breaking the habit, but chakra with a hard CH like chair is closer to the Sanskrit pronunciation. So I'm very excited we're going to take a much deeper dive studying the chakras right now. As always, I encourage you to take notes in your art journal. You might choose a page for summary comments that I make now at the beginning and at the end, and then a page or facing pages for each of the 7 chakras. So for the summary comments, I made a lot of notes, and you might want to make a lot of notes and drawings. So you might consider a set of facing pages for the summary comments like this, and then prepare a single page for each of the 7 chakras that we will take a deep dive covering. And if you want, you can prepare your 7 chakra pages using shades of colors: 1 page of reds, 1 page of oranges, 1 page of yellows, 1 page of green, 1 with lighter blues, 1 with indigo or darker blue, and 1 page for violet or white. And then print or cut any chakra images that you would like and add those from the workbook after you make notes on your pages, or create any art that appeals to you. So now, go to your first summary page in your art journal for the chakras and begin to take your first set of notes about chakras. And if I say something that resonates with you, capture it in your journal. So this lesson was greatly influenced by the exercises I did in Alan Seale's book, Soul Mission Life Vision, as well as from my meditation teacher certification program at the Chopra Center, and some other books that I will mention as we go through. In our Western tradition, we tend to think of the brain as our mind. However, in more Eastern traditions, we begin to understand that the mind, or our consciousness, actually exists as a vibrating field of energy that flows in and around your body and through every cell in your body. Now, I like to think of the brain as sort of the computer that keeps the body functioning, the brain like a command center. But the energy field and the cells of the body are where the real action is, and therefore that's where memory and wisdom are stored, in the cells of our body. In the yogic model, the energetic centers that mantras activate are the chakras. Our subtle anatomy consists of thousands of energetic channels known as nadis. Nadis are something that we mentioned quite a bit in pranayama. Nadis carry and distribute our prana throughout our being. I think of it like a complex intersecting series of railway lines. And then the major junction points of these nadis form the main energetic distribution centers of the body. And there are 7 main energy centers known as chakras. Chakra is a Sanskrit word meaning wheel of light. I like to think of these energetic centers like busy train stations where many channels pass through and meet. And if everything's flowing well, the trains run on time without colliding, and they deliver energy to all parts of your body where it needs to go. If there's any kind of imbalance, the train stations jam up with delays, collisions, confusion. And then if the right sounds come through the loudspeakers of the train station, then balance returns. Specific sounds coded to specific vibrations can heal and balance your energy system. Now, these energy centers are not just part of one particular belief system. If you were to study the mystical foundations of all the world's wisdom traditions, you would find that these energy centers are known to mystics of all traditions. For example, in her book, The Interior Castle, Saint Teresa of Avila, a 16th century Spanish Christian mystic, referred to the chakras as the 7 inner mansions of the spiritual journey. In the ancient Jewish mystical tradition of the Kabbalah, we find these energy centers in the Tree of Life. In the African religion Yoruba, they're known as the 7 African powers. Indigenous cultures all over the world refer to these energy centers in various ways within their traditions. So the chakra energy system is an ancient tool that transcends any particular belief system. It is the way the energy of the universe flows through each of us. Feelings, emotions, and thoughts are registered in your body on some level. The greater the flow of energy through your chakra system, the higher your level of awareness, and the more conscious you are of your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts. When there is a weaker flow of energy, and therefore you are not conscious of your full experience, your life will go by largely unnoticed by the most important person, you. Through your chakras, you exchange energy with the world around you. In very simple terms, you can think of your human energy system as having two principal components: mental, intellectual, and physical, emotional. Another interesting way to think of the chakras is like they're magnets that connect through the frequency of sound and vibration. Or you could think of them like a radio station that can tune into very subtle waves in the environment, what you might think of as gut feelings or instincts. If you have a chakra that's imbalanced, it's like a malfunctioning radio. So what happens when a radio doesn't work? You hear static instead of a clear vibratory signal. A healthy chakra can tune in to find harmony, just like you used to be able to turn the knob on the car radio to tune into a radio station. Now, sometimes people talk about a chakra being blocked, but I like to think of it as more like being out of tune. Mostly we think of some weakness of energy flow to a chakra as a problem, but the opposite is also an imbalance or lack of tuning. What I'm saying is sometimes a chakra can be overactive. Some describe it as being too open, which is also an imbalance. The mental intellectual aspect exists primarily from the third chakra, the solar plexus, up, while the physical emotional aspects primarily live in the first two chakras. In many of our Western cultures, we're socialized to live through our mental intellectual chakras, and we don't pay a lot of attention to the physical emotional ones, but they're so important. If the body-mind is all-encompassing, when we ignore the physical emotional aspect of our being, we've cut off a major part of the self, a part that's essential for making any concrete and lasting change. Because we register all experience in the cells of our body, the body can be a great indicator of our overall state of being. Are we happy, sad, confused, excited, joyous, stressed, anxious? We have a lot of shamans in our tribe, and they understand that body awareness is very important in intuitive development because your body is the physical home of your senses, both inner and outer. So the notion that the working of your body was very important on your spiritual path was very new to me as I went on what I call my vision quest. So the important takeaway is to really pay attention to what you feel in your body in a tactile, physical sense, as well as on an emotional level. If your chakras are tuned and healthy, you sense things more clearly, both love and danger, good vibes and bad vibes. This becomes increasingly important as you develop your intuitive ability. And so next we're going to take a deep dive into the first chakra, the root chakra, Muladhara.